Reason for this, I would say the summarizations here. So here, if you see, you know, the LLM that, the speakers talked about, the RAG, it's again your memory part because the something if you give the data, right, to memorize the LLM, right? So it is a RAG. So RAG is a retrieval augmented generation. So I mean, in industry, a lot of RAG applications are built on top of different data sources. Okay. It is not only on the unstructured data, let's say PDF, Word, or any sort of some semi-structured data. But the RAG, if you are very much clear about this RAG, because in interview, RAG is the something that is the entry point. They need to understand that whether this candidate understand the RAG concept or not, have the familiarity of this RAG or not, because agentic AI, generative AI, or whatever you call it, okay. So RAG is the base where you need to have clarity of all the components where build this RAG applications. Okay. So if you see on the right side, it's just analogous to the human. So why I always bring this human in the loop? Because uh, AI is nothing but it's a replica of human mindset, the human thinking, human philosophy. Okay. The way human behaves, the AI behaves the same way. Okay. It's nothing, uh, you can say the different from the human. Okay. So whenever you try to understand any of the AI concept, always bring human. Okay. Try to think that the how human would have done this apart from the machine, because you don't let always machine to think through, right? So always try to have segregations, uh, not kind of a segregations, but when you work on any of AI or agentic AI applications, uh, you will find more similarity with the human. Okay. So if you see, there are a few things, AI as a human body, right? So LLM, RAG, AI agent, and MCP, right? So if you compare it with LLM, so it's a human, right? So what human typically do? They think, right? So how they think typically, okay? So when I say human thinks, how human thinks, they understand the language, okay? Also, human generate the response. Do they have reasoning and knowledge, right? Yes. And also you learn from the past experiences. Okay. So there are the people who do not understand from the past, they do not learn from the past mistakes. They do the repeated mistakes, right, in our life, and you end up somewhere, right? So, but when it comes to the AI, that part is eliminated, right? Because machine doesn't do these second mistakes, right? Because they are trained enough to think through if there are second mistakes. Okay, but in our life, we are committed to do some second, third mistakes. Not all, but we are, right? So the same way, typically, they understand the language, generate the response, human-like response. They do have reasonings, but when you say that the LLM have these reasonings, they must have some knowledge. So where this knowledge will come from? You will give them some of the knowledge. You will give them some of the internal data. You will give them some of the external data to your LLM. Then it will put some reasonings on top of that. We'll have, some kind of a evolved version of this LLM, right? So learning from the vast amount of data, right? So if you give them the lot of informations to your LLM, for example, if you have been trained enough for, let's say, 1000 hours, if there are people who are trained enough for 100 hours, can you see the significant difference? The reason is that you have a lot of informations in terms of a data. You might have seen a lot of situations where things have been explained to you, right? So that is why the beauty of training is that you are trained enough to see that the both favorable and unfavorable situations. The same way, let's say in our life, if you have seen if you are trained on some of the favorable situations, and if you are well versed, you can also handle unfavorable situation, unseen situations, right? in our life also, you see a lot of unseen situations. So have you seen there are models which are trained on some of the data, but then you give them some unseen data. That is called training data. Okay. That is called test data that you give. So test data is unseen data. Similarly, the generative AI works well on unseen data. The reason being is that they are trained on vast amount of data. That is why they work on unseen data. Okay, so that is why you might have seen people who handles unseen situation very well. The reason is that the experience. You say them, they have a lot of experience, vast experience. People who have a vast experience can handle unseen situation, unseen data, test situation, test data. Similarly, these LLMs are, because they are trained on this vast amount of data, vast amount of the unseen, I wouldn't say the seen data. That is why they can handle unseen data also, right? Similarly, with this RAG is nothing but it's a memory. Okay. So because people who doesn't have a memory, do you think that you can consider them as a human, right? If you are forgetting things on and off, right? So, people will not trust you. To bring that trust element, that is why people come up with something called a RAG applications, right? Because now they have this memory part. Okay. Whatever they will tell, there would be a trust because they are speaking from their heart. They are speaking from something which they have their own data or external data, right? So remembering the external informations, fetching the relevant data, and that is a grounded response. Then you say that this people is very much grounded. Reason is that they are giving you factually correct responses, right? So the issue with this industry was earlier when LLM was there, we were very much happy when Chat GPT came in the market that we were getting some responses from our prompt. Whatever prompt we have, we used to get some responses and we were very much happy. But people have analyzed it that how much hallucinations, how much deviations, how much, it's giving incorrect responses, which will not make sense to us. Okay. It was like a burden for us for some time, right? So same thing, and also there was no some actions this LLM was taking. It was like a static information. It was again a replica of Google, but in some sophisticated format. Okay. So that cannot serve our purpose because these RAG applications are somehow eliminating our issue of these hallucinations, but there was one burden also because it was not taking any actions. Right. So what is the usage of, investing billions and trillions of money to come up with one of the, the tools which can give you the response, human-like response, but still cannot take actions. Just think of a human being who have a lot of knowledge. He is grounded in nature, but cannot take actions. A man without action is no use, right? So you want your LLM to take some actions, right? So that is why the third concepts, which are very much relevant and prevalent, is AI agent. It's your body. Now, this LLM have started taking actions through this help of some of the tools and APIs. They have started executing the task. Okay. So trying to achieve some of the active goals. Okay. So these are the behavior of agent. So now still we are in a situations that we are letting your agent to work. So that is why there is something called concept of autonomous agent, because we know that humans cannot be everywhere. So we want an intelligent agent. At least if some unforeseen situation, unseen situation happen, at least my AI agent can take actions. Because somehow humans, even, our brain doesn't work. That what actions we need to take, even if you are very much experienced one, right? So is there any way, is there any machines we can put in place who can take actions, decisions, okay, and work for on behalf of a human being. So that is why this AI agent is flooded in the market. You'll see every single companies are working on their AI agent. Okay, they talk in terms of agents only. Okay, so the beauty of this thing is again LLM, RAG, and agent that I think you understood, right? So in this, our 4 weeks, this summer internship, we touched all this LLM, RAG, AI agent. Now coming to MCP, which is more interesting. Okay. So MCP that we have covered, this is the extra part that we have covered. So MCP is again, it's like a nervous systems. Okay. So if let's say your nervous system, if things are connected with your nervous systems, okay. So don't you think that it's like a complete human beings? Okay. So alone tool is not enough. We need some of the MCPs, okay, standardized communications. We need connectors to some of the databases, tools, and APIs that has some secure data flow, right? Also, some of the plug and play. For example, if you want to connect with wave search, databases, APIs, files, and application at one go. So we need MCP servers, okay? Because at a single time, you want to achieve a lot of tasks, okay? That is what we call it as MCP, okay? It's a standardized protocol, a more sophisticated form of APIs only, but it connects with different dots. Okay, so it is like giving a lot of autonomy to a person. Let's say there are people in our life who takes decision by their own. They have a lot of autonomy, and the people who doesn't have autonomy. Okay, so you'll say compare their life. Okay, the same thing happens with the AI agent. If you give access to, if you integrate your MCP to that agent, it will be more autonomous. It will have a more access to real-time informations. They will start taking actions more secure, right? So that is the part of MCP that we typically call it as model context protocol. So now in the industry, also we are looking for, or in the industry, people are looking for who can work on agent as well as MCP. They know what is MCP at least, okay? So if you see this MCP connects AI to tools, it's APIs, database, and file systems if you want to connect directly. So you need this MCP. It's nothing but a nervous systems. Okay. So to become a full independent person, the same way here, if somebody wants to achieve in terms of AI the full autonomy, you have to have this LLM concept, React, AI agent, and MCP. Okay, so these few concepts that you must know, and it is again very much interesting, and which all are connected to each other. Okay, that is the beauty of this agentic AI, where things are connected, and you'll find more interesting too. Okay, so this is all a kind of a summarizations. We have seen over the these 4 5 weeks, whatever we have done. Okay, any question, anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, now let me share something. Let me share my screen. If it is visible, to let me know where is my screen. Hmm. Where is my screen? Just give me 30 seconds. I'm sharing my screen.
Excuse me, sir.
Mhm.
What is TF-IDF retrieval technique?
EFID.
IDF retrieval technique.
TF IDF is, whenever you do, embeddings, before that, there is a TF IDF. It is, uh, one of the KPIs that in NLP, typically you do that. Okay. For example, if you have to put some numbers, okay, the one that I have shown you, I think couple of weeks back. So TF is it's like a frequency, how much frequency a word is occurring. So it is part of NLP, okay, and then you assign some weightage to that, okay. So it is again one matrix where in NLP, when you do data pre-processing and then you do TF IDF and then you create embeddings on top of that. for faster retrieval of the informations, because we want kind of a search which is more relevant, and you can say semantic search. It will give a better semantic search. So where we use TF IDF, and technically whenever you work on any of the RAG applications, it is there. TF IDF is there. That logic is there. Okay.
Sir, it is on attention mechanism.
Attention mechanism only. Before that, you have to do all these. This is part of NLP. Everything you have to do that. Attention mechanism is again, after that layer, because whenever you do this search, right, attention you need because of the next token. Because if you do not bring in the element of transformer, transformer has attention mechanism. And if you are not allowing any of the transformer logics uh, to your applications, there would not be a case where it will predict the next tokens. So LLMs typically works on transformer model, and in within that transformer model, the algo is attention mechanism that gives flexibility of predicting the next token. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now, my Azure portal is visible to you, everyone? स्क्रीन
Yes.
दिख रहा है या नहीं दिख रहा है? अच्छा, ठीक है. So now we'll do a small exercise, and we'll try to sum it up. So why I'm trying to show you this cloud is because a lot of agentic generative applications you can build inside this. Okay. So there is something called Foundry. Okay. Just remember it, and also if you have access to free access to this Azure, try to experiment with. Okay. So if you go in this Foundry, because all of your AI related activities, AI related applications you can build inside this Microsoft Foundry. Okay. So you have something called Azure OpenAI. So earlier I was explaining something called, if you have something called LLM, because any of the RAG applications you work, AI agent or agentic AI you work. Okay. So in that case, you need at least one LLM. LLM is a brain. Okay. Without brain, you cannot proceed, because perception happens at the brain level. Then comes your memory. Then comes your, something called action part, hands, legs. Then comes your nervous systems. Okay. So everything you see can be done here inside this Microsoft Foundry. It is a one place. So if someone asks you in Azure cloud where I can do all these things, it's a one place called Microsoft Foundry. Okay. Now go to this Foundry one, something which I have already created. So I'll show you something. Okay. So if you go, there are the few Foundry resources that is already created. Okay. So you'll see some screen like this. Okay. Don't go with this detailing of it. Once you start working on it, you will understand. So if you see, there is something called AI services. Okay, it is written. What is this? AI services means Microsoft Foundry provides you AI services, right? It's a, whatever AI activities you want to perform, you can do it within this Microsoft Foundry. So that is why it is labeled as AI services. And, any of the Azure cloud in that one, there is a need of provisioning of the services. So where you want to create these services. So I have created this service in East US. Okay. Because of this servers, the servers are all around the world, right? So you'll see that if that server is available in India or not. So normally we have three geographical regions in each country if there is a server, right? So the same thing, you go and just hit this one. It is already created. So I'm just giving you that how you can play around. Okay. So now FD agent, you see there is something called Foundry. So if you go, this Foundry will come and you'll have something on the right side. Okay. So if you go down, there is something called build apps and agents. So in the industry, if you go, let's say if you're applying for any of the organizations as a AI engineer or maybe Gen AI developer, okay. So in that case, what you have to work on is to create agent and applications. Okay. So if you are into this Azure cloud, obviously you have to work inside within this Foundry, Microsoft Foundry. Okay. So you have to do all the applications related activity inside this Foundry only. Okay. So this is the place where you'll have a lot of activities you have to perform. So you have to go to Foundry. Okay. So if you go to the Foundry, you'll have a screen which looks like this. So let's open it. Okay. So if you see this one, you'll have a screen like this. But again, there is a older version of phone. So you just need to toggle it. Just toggle it and go back. Because earlier, the version of this Microsoft, this Foundry was different. Because Microsoft always changes the UI interfaces and services. They modify it, come up with the new editions every 6 or 8 months. Okay, so always you have to have look at your dashboard that what new services they have created. Okay, freeze lot of spaces, delete it. Then I delete it. Can you see? Okay, hope my screen is visible. Okay, so in Microsoft Foundry, okay, so we have the older version of this uh, dashboard. So the people, yesterday I have shown you that the from where we can pick up those keys, right, for our applications, right? So if you see, there is something called endpoint and key. So you people who will work as a Gen AI developer or AI engineer, so you'll look for only any of the application, you look for this API endpoint and keys, any of the project. So the client will provide you this endpoint and key, and then you can access your applications and create your applications. Got it? So this is how you have to, understand it that the why I need this interface at least. Because in your Python script, you need this endpoint and key from where you will have those keys from this dashboard. Okay. Now, if you go down, there are a lot of things uh, which is there. So there is a OpenAI and there is AI search services. AI, Azure AI services is there. Okay. So once you work on this RAG applications, agentic AI applications, okay. So in that case, you need these, services configured at least to create the entire pipeline. Okay. So if you go down, details are there, subscriptions are there. Okay. These things will help you also if your applications needs some of the extra detailing and everything. So also they have given us some templates that how in our Python code in VS code we need the APIs and where this API will sit. Okay, so this is how we are taking those APIs from our this Microsoft Foundry and use it here. You are embedding it here. Okay. So now if you go here in the left side, we have something called model catalog. So in model catalog also, okay, let's not go to this model catalog. It is letting me to some others. So it will let us to some other screen. Okay. Always logs me out. Just give me some seconds. So I have to scan it. Okay. Okay, so you'll have a screen like this. Okay. So now, because sometimes it logs out after some time. Okay. So we have this screen, the older version. Let me go to the older version. Okay. So I have to go to the older version. Okay. So we have something called agent. If you want to create any agent, okay, you can create it here directly. Something called new agent you can create. Okay. We have also some of the something called template. Okay. If you want to have this multi-agent automations, right? All these things, this template is there. So you can use this cooked up template and customize your application in Python. Okay. These all things are there. Fine tuning is there, content understanding. The in the last class, I explained this deep level, how we can evaluate our LLMs. So if you want to evaluate it, you can create, some of the services and you can do that. Okay. There is also something called Azure OpenAI. Okay. So these things are there, and how you want to, evaluate the models and everything, it is there. Everything is there, and you can test it out also. Okay. So this is one of the wonderful platform where you can experiment, create an AI agent. Now let me go to this new Foundry. So if I go to this new Foundry, okay. So next, do this next, okay. Oh, what I am doing. I'll not create an any agent right now. Cancel it. Go to Foundry, okay. Go down. If you go down, there is something called data agent. Can you see? So if you go to this data agent, uh, you see there is something called model GPT 5.40 Nano. That model is there. Some instruction is there. This is nothing but it's our prompt. Okay. Now, if you go down, there is something called tools. Okay. Azure AI search. Now, if you go down, there is something called knowledge and memory. Okay. So what I'm trying to explain you that how we can use this Azure AI search. So can you see this JSON data is visible to you? Can you see? Can anybody confirm? dummyjson.com/product.
Yes, sir.
Is it? Okay. So if you see, let's say, just imagine a situation. So let's say I'm just giving you one idea. Just hit this one. Okay. Let's say you are working for one of the e-commerce platform. Okay. And your client asks you that I have to create one AI agent or AI agent virtual assistant. I have some data. Okay. So how you will proceed it? So your first step would be, uh, you know, you'll ask for the data sources of the data. You will list out the sources of the data, which all data they want to query. Okay. Because for the grounding response, for knowledge, for memory, you need a data source, right? Then only you can create an agent that you can talk to, right? So let's say this data is coming from one of the e-commerce portal. Okay. So if you see this data, right? So it's in JSON format. Can you see this one in JSON format? Okay. It's in key and values. The data is in key. So there is a one person whose ID is one, and they have ordered this essential mascara lash princess or something, some beauty product. Okay. And the description is that the essence mascara lash princess is a popular mascara known for its volumizing and lengthening effect or something. Okay. So these are some beauty products. Okay. So again, it's an e-commerce product. Okay. The prices and everything is written. Okay. Warranty and everything. So all details are almost things are there, right? So this is your API. Okay. REST APIs and data is there. Okay. So can you create an agent? Can anybody tell me how you can create an agent? कोई बता सकता है? Subhanji, Yugratna, can you explain anybody? Okay. So when I say, to create this applications, okay. So idea would be how we can use this data because this is semi-structured data. Okay. Now data in the industry will not come as a tabular one. Okay. They will not give you a tabular data. They will not give you any CSV data. Okay. So how you can create this one? Okay. Is there any way to create an AI agent? right? So data source would be different. Data source is in JSON format, which is a semi-structured one. Is there any way I can create an agent? Yes, I can create. Because to create an agent, I need my tool to add it to one of the LLM. Okay, if that I can do, if I can manage that one, I can create an AI agent. Okay, so now let's see this one.
Excuse me, sir. So can you explain again how can you create an AI agent?
हाँ देखो, ये स्क्रीन मेरा ये दिख रहा है।
Oh, yes, sir. Like the
हाँ,
product screen is.
दिख रहा है। तो क्या
Yes.
होता है ना, एआई एजेंट जब हम क्रिएट करते हैं तो बेसिकली एलएलएम को जब हम टूल्स देते हैं, एक्सेस टू टूल्स मींस इट कुड बी योर डेटा, एपीआईज, एमसीपीज, any of the knowledge source. So when you give this access to your LLM, then you say it's an agent because actions की बात करते हैं, actions tool ही ले सकता है, right? LLM cannot take actions. LLM
Yes.
can just give you a jargons. वो आपको ज्ञान दे सकता है, but actions नहीं ले सकता है. Have you seen in your anybody in your, I'm not saying that the family, I mean, or anywhere. So okay, get a lecture but doesn't take actions, right? No, no offense to anyone, but you need some tools so that they can take actions. So here, how I can use my data agent to take actions? यदि मैं डेटा को टूल की तरह यूज करके मैं एलएलएम पे दे दूं तो वो एक्शन लेना शुरू कर लेगा. So here, whenever you work on AI agent, we want our LLM to take actions. LLM alone cannot take actions in isolations. That is the real challenge of LLM. रैग से भी बात नहीं बनाना, बिकॉज रैग भी वो कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन देता था बट वो एक्शन भी नहीं ले सकता है. वो तो और भी गया गुजरा चीज है, ठीक है. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू एआई एजेंट, दे विल स्टार्ट टेकिंग एक्शंस. इट्स बेटर टू वर्क ऑन एआई एजेंट रेदर देन रैग एप्लीकेशन, बिकॉज उसमें भी हेल्यूसिनेशंस आने लगता है, राइट? इट्स बेटर टू वर्क विद द एजेंट बिकॉज एटलीस्ट वो एक्शन तो लेगा, राइट? सो डेटा सोर्सेस, व्हेन यू से राइट नाउ व्हाट आई हैव शोन यू, द रेस्ट एपीआई डेटा, ठीक है, डमी डेटा डॉट जेसन स्लैश प्रोडक्ट्स, इट्स ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट्स, देयर डेटा in JSON format, that is a REST APIs. Okay, how I can give and create this tool so that I can give it to the LLM, ठीक है. तो उसके लिए फिर क्या करें, तो उसके लिए क्या करना होता है मैं बता रहा हूँ एट ए हाई लेवल. यू पीपल हैव टू वर्क ऑन, ओके, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल हियर. आप जाओगे, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड अज्योर का डेटा फैक्ट्री होता है, समझ आए? ठीक है, आई एम शोइंग. ठीक,
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे क्या करोगे, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड सोर्स एंड सिंक होता है, ठीक है. आप जाओगे ना, सोर्स एंड सिंक होता है, सोर्स डेटा एंड सिंक डेटा. तो मेरा सोर्स डेटा कहाँ पे है, यहाँ पे है, ये मेरा सोर्स डेटा है, ठीक है. और मैंने सिंक कहाँ किया, ये सोर्स डेटा है. अब मैंने व्यू डेटा करूंगा, देखो, प्रीव्यू डेटा. तो मैंने जो सोर्स डेटा था जो जेसन फॉर्मेट में था, उसको मैंने यहाँ पे डाला और यही डेटा है जो सोर्स डेटा में था, ठीक है. दिस इज द सोर्स डेटा जो जेसन के अंदर देख रहे थे. Got it?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, और उसके बाद उसको सिंक करोगे. सिंक का मतलब है कि एज्योर के ब्लॉब स्टोरेज में जाके डाल दो उसको. दैट इज कॉल्ड सिंकिंग. Means you have a data in X place in the world, you have sync it to a place from where you will fetch data for creation of AI agent. तो हम sync place ढूंढ रहे हैं, ठीक है. Something called, how to say, so it's like किनारा ढूंढ रहे हैं, from where we can jump to our hometown or something. So syncing is like ढूंढना किनारा, right? So source is somewhere, चले कहीं और से, and sync it to some place, right? From where we will create some of the agent. So we'll sync it. There is something called sync. हमने sync कहाँ करा है? You go here, go home, स्टोरेज अकाउंट में जाओ, तब तब से ऑन ही है ये. तो यहाँ पे जाओगे ना तो स्टोरेज अकाउंट होता है, ठीक है. तो स्टोरेज अकाउंट में जाओगे, यू गो टू द स्टोरेज अकाउंट. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे मेरे नाम से कुछ STR करके एक स्टोरेज अकाउंट. स्टोरेज अकाउंट इज नथिंग बट इट इज लाइक योर गूगल ड्राइव। तो एक गूगल ड्राइव में मैंने सिंक कर लिया। जो डेटा इंटरनेट पे जेसन के फॉर्मेट में ये भरा हुआ था ना, उसको मैंने क्या किया, गूगल ड्राइव में रख लिया है। दैट्स ऑल, ऐसे समझो, और कुछ नहीं किया मैंने। सो इफ यू गो टू द स्टोरेज ब्राउजर, यहाँ से देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड ब्लॉक कंटेनर। कंटेनर के अंदर एक सिंक लिखा हुआ है, और इस सिंक के अंदर देखोगे कुछ आएगा ये। तो जो जेसन डेटा था ना, ठीक है, जो इंटरनेट पे पड़ा हुआ था, उसको मैंने अपने कंटेनर में डाल दिया। समझ आया? गॉट इट?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
बट वो कंटेनर में आया कहाँ से? यहाँ से आया। उसके लिए एक पाइपलाइन क्रिएट करते, जो डेटा इंजीनियरिंग वाले हो गए, समझ में आ रहा होगा। अज्योर डेटा फैक्ट्री, इससे मैंने पाइपलाइन बनाया और उसको सिंक कर दिया, यहाँ पे पुश कर दिया मैंने अपने कंटेनर में। तो इस यही किया, और कुछ नहीं करा है। समझ आया? समझ आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
क्यों
sir.
ऐसा किया, क्यों? इसीलिए क्योंकि डेटा चेंज होगा ना। क्यों डेटा चेंज होगा, ये देखो। क्योंकि ई कॉमर्स का डेटा है, ठीक है। आज लेट से कि आज 12 बजे तक कुछ ये डेटा था, ऐसा थोड़ा है कि 5 बजे तक यही डेटा रहेगा। और ऐड हो जाएंगे ना, कोई तो ऑर्डर करेगा प्रोडक्ट, डेटा
Yes.
इवॉल्व होगा, ऐसे
Yes,
सोचो। समझ आ रहा है?
Yes,
समझ आ
sir.
रहा है?
yes, sir.
हाँ। तो दैट इज वाई इट्स अ डेल्टा डेटा, सो एवरी डे डेटा विल चेंज। सो इट्स बेटर टू क्रिएट अ पाइपलाइन। एक ऐसा पाइपलाइन बनाओ जो हमें हर एक 6 बजे सुबह मुझे नया डेटा दे दे, जिससे कि कोई यदि 10 बजे कोई एप्लीकेशन यूज कर रहा है ना, उसको फ्रेश डेटा मिल जाए वहां, कम से कम 6 बजे तक का। समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
समझ में आया? कम से कम ग्राउंडिंग रिस्पॉन्स तो देगा। समझ आ रहा है ना? देर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड स्ट्रीमिंग डेटा, बट हम स्ट्रीमिंग डेटा पे नहीं काम कर रहे हैं। वी आर वर्किंग ऑन डेल्टा डेटा, T-1 डेटा। कम से कम एक दिन पुराना डेटा पे हम काम करेंगे। एटलीस्ट इफ यू वर्क ऑन अ डे ओल्ड डेटा, तब भी तो अपना काम चल जाएगा ना। समझ आ रहा है? समझ आ रहा है ना?
Yes.
Yes,
ठीक है।
sir.
बट उसको ऑर्केस्ट्रेट करने के लिए हमें एक एडीएफ बीच में चाहिए था, जो कि हमें वो डेटा पुल करके हमारे S3 में जाके सिर्फ रख दे। हम बस उसी में हम खुश हैं कि कोई बात नहीं, तुम मुझे एक दिन पहले का कोई भी डेटा है ला के रख दो। दैट्स ऑल। ओके। तो मुझे बस एक दिन का डेटा ला के रख रहा है। ठीक है। कहाँ था मैं? ठीक है। तो ओके, दैट इज डन। एंड देन यू क्रिएट दिस अज्योर एआई सर्च। उससे फिर वहां से हमने अज्योर एआई सर्च बना के इंडेक्सिंग बनाओगे, वो एक दो स्टेप्स है। ठीक है। एंड देन यू ऐड इट टू द टूल। तो ये एक टूल ऐड कर लिया मैंने, जिसमें कि एक किसी ने पूछा था ना एम्बेडिंग, तो ये डायरेक्टली जेसन का डेटा नहीं है। इसमें क्या हुआ है, जो जेसन का जो डेटा था, वो क्या हुआ है, एम्बेडिंग में कन्वर्ट हुआ है। और जो एम्बेडिंग में कन्वर्ट हुआ है, वो स्टोर कहाँ हुआ है? अज्योर एआई
So,
सर्च। हाँ बताओ। हाँ, क्वेश्चन था किसी का?
no, sir.
हाँ। जो जेसन का जो डेटा था ना, वो एम्बेडिंग में कन्वर्ट हुआ है। और जो एम्बेडिंग हुआ है वो स्टोर हमने अज्योर एआई सर्च में, जो ये दिख रहा है ना, ठीक है, वो जेसन का डेटा लेके बैठा हुआ नहीं है, उसके अंदर सिर्फ एम्बेडिंग है। समझ आया?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
दैट इज वाई एज्योर एआई सर्च इज देयर। यदि डायरेक्टली ही हमें जेसन यूज करना था, तो इतना हमें ये सब करने की क्या जरूरत था? डायरेक्टली हम यहाँ नॉलेज में यूज कर लेते, या अपलोड फाइल कर लेते यहाँ से। ठीक है। क्योंकि डेटा विल इंक्रीमेंट, दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड डेल्टा डेटा, एवरी डे। तो वहां पे हमें चैलेंज है कि कौन फिर से जाके एम्बेडिंग क्रिएट करेगा। क्या हम ऐसा एक पाइपलाइन बना सकते हैं कि जो इंटायर पाइपलाइन बना दे और टूल कनेक्टेड हो? तो ये क्या होगा, तुम्हारा हमेशा अपडेटेड डेटा रहेगा। ठीक है। दैट इज वाई वी हैव एडेड दिस टूल है। तो नाउ अभी हमारे पास क्या आ गया, एलएलएम। ये एलएलएम है और ये टूल है। एलएलएम प्लस टूल इक्वल टू एआई एजेंट। हो गया एआई एजेंट। नाउ देखो, आप क्या करेंगे, इस चैट इंटरफेस से बात करेंगे, उसको बोलेंगे हाय ओनली। तो यहाँ कुछ लिखा है मैंने, ठीक है, प्रॉम्प्ट में लिखा हुआ है। ठीक है। सो इफ यू से हाउ कैन आई हेल्प यू, सो आई विल से कैन यू गिव मी रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम Azure AI search tool. Let's see if it gives us or not. Yes, I would like to give you AI search tool example, reset instance or something. Yeah, ठीक है, ये AI सर्च से देगा, बट हमें इसको रिलेवेंट क्वेश्चन पूछना पड़ेगा किधर है. ठीक है. सो लेट्स से मैं इसी के बारे में पूछता हूँ. कैन यू गिव मी डिटेल्स अबाउट. Let's see if it gives us a response. Sure, I'll look up what exactly you want. Essence mascara, princess. If you don't have a prince, I'll pull a general product information and uses. Let's say general product ही उठा लो. Okay. Control V. So let's see how they are responding to. So, but currently I'm not getting a result back from Azure essentially. I don't have a grounded. Okay, I have to refresh it. रिफ्रेश कर लो इसको. ठीक है. ओके. लेट्स से हाय. Tell me about this product. One of the beauty product from Azure AI search tool. Sometimes it resets, but let's see. Our Lux gives us some. I can do that, but I need to detail what beauty product name you want. Let's me check again. कहाँ है ब्रांड का नाम कुछ है क्या है? Hmm. Let me go down. Is there any कोई और प्रोडक्ट है क्या? This one. About this product. Let's see if it gives us a response on it. The tool and all that. 1 minute. Let's do one thing. Let's remove it. Add, browse, Azure AI search पे जाओ, add tool कर लो. My data agent is there. या ठीक है. इसको सेव कर लो. ठीक है. इसको कॉपी कर लो. I'll refresh it. इसको रिफ्रेश करो. So once you do refresh, let's see if it works for us or not. 'I can help, but I need a bit more context or refer to many product. Can you update product link brochure or something? Let me pass more context. Something like this. चलो देखते हैं दिखाते ठीक है. So this, let's see if gives us a response or not. Here is the product informations. So this is giving us a response. Okay. So you will get a response like this. Okay. And if you scroll down, okay. So sometime you have to reset it. Okay. Otherwise it will have some of the, because of this, there are multiple agent I have created. Okay. So always try to refresh it and say hi. Okay. Then agent will be added. Okay. So sometimes it creates an issue, but you don't need to worry about it. Okay. Response from tool. Okay. So also there is one more thing, something called publish. So if you go and there is something called review web app, you go into this web applications. So this is your publishing your application. So हमने जो भी बनाया था ना, can you give me बस ये मस्करा product details price from Azure AI search tool. Just see. So this is your published chatbot now. Okay. So can you see this is giving us a response? Can everybody see? Response आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो आप जाओगे तो ये देखो रिस्पॉन्स भी आ रहा है यहाँ से डेटा एजेंट का. ठीक है. उसी एजेंट से आ रहा है जहां अपना जेसन वाला डेटा था. समझ आया? प्रोडक्ट का क्या नाम था? ये वाला था ना नाम. प्राइस था, डिस्काउंट था, ये सारे आपको इंफॉर्मेशन आ रहे हैं. ठीक है. गॉट इट. तो जब आपको कोई भी एजेंट बनाना हो तो सबसे पहले चीज ये देखो कि कोई डेटा वोटा है क्या उनके पास, और डेटा भी किस फॉर्मेट में है. यदि स्ट्रक्चर्ड बोल रहे हैं तो आप बोलोगे कि डू यू हैव सम एपीआईज टू कॉल टू माय एप्लीकेशन. सो ऑलवेज लुक फॉर द एपीआईज. data directly, don't ask for data directly, always ask for whether do you have any APIs. बिकॉज एपीआई को इंटीग्रेट करना आसान होता है. रीजन इज दैट व्हाई वी आर आस्किंग फॉर एपीआई क्या, क्योंकि डेटा इवॉल्व होगा, डेटा में नया डेटा आएगा. एवरीडे डेटा विल नॉट बी स्टैटिक. यदि हिस्टोरिकल डेटा है तो वी डू नॉट नीड टू क्रिएट एन एजेंट. एजेंट इसलिए बनाया जाता है क्योंकि डेटा चेंज होता जाता है एवरी डे, डायनेमिक डेटा है. So that is why people are after this agent, because they can handle dynamic data. They can handle change in the data, right? Delta data. ठीक है. That is why agent will work, and obviously you can have access to. यहाँ से शेयर भी कर सकते हो ये एप्लीकेशन जो है ना, कॉपी लिंक करके यू पीपल कैन ऑल्सो एक्सेस इट. ये वाला पब्लिश्ड हो गया है. ठीक है. समझ में आया? समझ में आया सबको?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can create an agent and have different data sources integrated at once. Okay. So this is what I just wanted to show you and hope things might have easy for you. Okay. तो ये applications में UI वो सब जो करना चाहते हो, UI अच्छा बना के शिप कर सकते हो, डॉकर कंटेनर जो भी करना चाहते हो, you can do that. Okay. So this is a backend part that we typically work on. Okay. So where I was, Sandhu sir, are you there, sir? Sandhu sir, are you there? Sorry,
Yes, yes.
So I think it's time to take up from here. So I think I'm
That's
done.
good. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Satyajit, for your PowerPoint sessions throughout, and hope you will be also be a part of this project mentorship. Students, don't leave just be there for another couple of minutes. Let me explain you certain things. So students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So thank you all for being a part of this internship program. Of course, we are at the midpoint of this program, and we have now at the stage where we complete our the training sessions. So next session onwards, the 4 week has been completed, and the next week onwards we'll have the practical sessions. The practical sessions will be not a regular session like the way we are having every day. I mean, rather it will be twice in a day or thrice in a day. It all depends upon how much you have prepared yourself according to the milestones, according to the project development strategies. And for that, I hope all the groups have been formed. If not formed, if anyone has been remained, we'll club the remaining student, I mean, participant into one and we'll form the groups. So uh, I'll consider all the groups that have been uploaded till, I mean, today's date. Okay. So after some time, I mean, most probably by 4 o'clock, I'll float a synopsis page, a Google form with synopsis, so that you can enter your details according to the group number uh, in order to understand or in order to provide the details of all the projects. It should include like the title of the project, the platform we are using, the objective of the project, and certain other information regarding the project and the group members, all the details. Along with that, there will be also another form that will be put in a day or two, where you have to fill your details exactly how you want your name should be written in your certificates and all, because that is always the issue. Sometimes the name you have formed while filling up the Google form while joining this program, and but sometimes students, I mean, want their certificate should be in a particular name without surname or the spelling of the name and all that. So finally, the details of your name and universities and all that has to be filled correctly. Exactly, that has to be filled in your certificates after these 2 weeks. And by end of the project, as you have told you, we'll try to take a viva for all the student participants, those who have joined in a group only, and the viva will be on the basis of the project you have done. Along with that, we'll have a feedback form also. You have need to fill that feedback form about the project. How do you like it, or whether what type, I mean, what else we want should be added. That will help us to improve the standard of this internship program also. So I hope all of you almost have been a part of the groups. So if not complete your group and all the details by today evening. By 4 o'clock, I'll share the project details. The forms and the synopsis form at least, so you can fill it up for the project. And regarding the title and all that, I have listed. We have listed as a list of item. Project titles in the brochure. But along with that, you may have your own topic also. But make sure that the topic, the um, title which you have chosen, that should be not should be extremely complicated or multi-layered. It has to be a capstone type of project which has to be completed. It should be, first of all, it should be a simple project in terms of academics, which can be completed 15 days only. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, maximum by 2 weeks. So that is important. The idea behind making you groups or putting all in groups so that multitasking can be done. More than one people can have a group, and you can divide your work, and you will understand how the project is being developed in a team. So in a project report and all the thing, everything has to be in a digital format. It has to be in a PDF format. That has to be uploaded in the corresponding Google Drive. The way and other things like synopsis and other details, I'll provide you step by step. Along with that, please remember another thing: every group will be provided with mentors. There will be multiple groups under one mentor. The list of mentors also will be details of the mentors, the contact details also. I'll share it maximum by tomorrow morning. So once you start working on groups, if for any case, if you are not able to, if you have any difficulties, you can talk to the mentor. In any case, if you have any other issues beyond which mentor can solve it, you can, yeah, in those cases, you can also escalate it. You can ask to, you can refer to Mr. Satyajit or even to me or to Mr. Rajkumar, anyone else. So that is how it has been planned. So yeah, that's it. Anybody want to ask anything specific? But make sure that to form the group.
So will there also be a project presentation?
No, it will be not a presentation. Rather that it will be a viva sort of things on based on the project. It can, but we to welcome if anyone want to present their project. If any group want to present their project, it will welcome. Rather, it will be added advantage.
Okay.
I hope this 4 weeks must have been improved your understanding of agentic and generatives linkage and its paradigm to a great extent. Now, anyone want to ask anything or share anything? Okay, acha, another important thing, your certificates will be in form of hard copies. Okay, that can be collected from the university, from the IT department after completion of the project. I'll tell you the time. But when we can collect it, once this 2 weeks will be completed. But in any case, if you somebody in worst case not from this university and all that, or this, you can get a digital copy of the certificate also or the board. So do fill this synopsis form or synopsis report once it has been shared in the group. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best for your projects. In which month will be the, but yeah, once the 2 week will be completed, that is 2 weeks starts from today. After 2 weeks, once you complete your project, the next in a day or two, the project will be, I mean, I'll declare the day for the Viva analysis. Or it will be online Viva. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.